Hi, I'm Jay Diamond, Love and Intimacy Coach, and I wanted to bring you this free mini training today about single to soulmate in the 5 phases, basically. So I teach a method which is called Awakening Sacred Love, and there's around 7 processes to go through to move through these 5 phases to go from single to soulmate. And I realized that I'd never actually written it down or shared with people what kind of things my clients go through when they take on an online program with me, or when they're doing one-to-one work with me, or they come to a VIP day. It's really essential that I bring them through these 5 stages in order that they can really connect with their soulmate in a deep way. So if you haven't checked me out, I'm Jay Diamond at jaydiamond.net. If you see me moving and rolling around, it's because I'm on my birth ball. I'm currently 8 months pregnant and due very soon, but hopefully not during this class. So I've got some notes because I didn't want to miss anything. I'm a kind of a notes person. I like a good checklist, and I wanted to make sure that I shared everything with you that I want to. And what I want you to do is have a think about which phase are you in, because what I'm going to do is tell you exactly what you need to do to go to the next phase, okay, to get to phase 5. So there's 5 phases to get soulmate ready. And you need to, generally we'll do these in progression. That's usually how it works. You can jump from one phase to another, but you'll have to undergo all of the processes pretty much within all the phases. So in phase 1, from single to soulmate, you are spinning your wheels. You're in a place of exasperation and victimhood, and that means that you are blaming men for the state of the dating world, and blaming dating apps and your parents and your past and the narcissistic ex, and you're blaming everything outside of yourself for why you haven't been successful in love yet. And although that may be a contributing factor, all of your focus is out there. Sometimes you go from I don't need a man to why isn't he calling me, and feeling anxious. So you kind of go from being avoidant to anxious. And in this place, you really want to create true, authentic love, but you just cannot fathom what is going on that is not making you connect with love. So the way to move on to phase 2 is radical responsibility. You decide it's time to look within, and you take control of your life, and you decide to empower yourself, knowing that that's the only way that you can create the life that you want, is by going within, and is by having a look at what's going on in here, not just what's out there. For phase 2, you realize that you are the common denominator in all your relationships, and there's probably something in you that needs to shift. If you're constantly attracting people who are narcissistic, there is something in you that is attracted to narcissistic people. And if there is something in you that is attracted to people where you end up being the caregiver, you end up paying for everything, you end up being the one who puts all the work in, you're the common denominator after this happens a few times. So you start to move your focus from blame out there to responsibility. And this can be a really tough process, but it's also the most empowering thing you'll ever do, because what will happen is you'll start to look for the support you need to move forward and change your life. So you might sign up for some free classes. You might buy a few books to help you understand love and men and relationships, because you start to think, well, there's obviously something I'm missing here. What is it that I'm missing? I want to learn what it is so I can shift it and create great love in my life, But there seems to be some conflicting advice in all of these different things that you're watching and reading and so on and so forth, and downloading. And perhaps you flip-flop in the beginning, in this phase 2, from some of these new habits and ideas to your old habits and ideas. So the way that you move to phase 3 is to really kind of put your stake in the ground. That's what I say to my clients, and that's what my clients have done. They put the stake in the ground, and as I did, and they decide to go deeper in the area of relationships. So you start to look for, who can I learn from that I can trust? You go deeper and you focus on just you and relationships, not general well-being, not what's a quick text for manipulation and mind games, because that doesn't last, and you've probably found that out by this time. You dedicate some time to really grow in this area, usually with a chosen mentor or with a group, either one-to-one or in person. Perhaps you sign up for a program, perhaps you connect with a women's group who is working on this kind of stuff, whatever it is for you. Now, you could start to piece things together by yourself, but because so much of the information is different, it can take quite a lot longer. And part of that is because you're experimenting, and part of it is because you just don't have the accountability of someone to call you out on your stuff, which at this phase is a mega support, because generally, as human beings, we're a bit sneaky. So, with my girls, they'll come up with this, oh, this is happening, that's happening, and I'll say, have you got your rotation going? Are you dating more than one guy, or are you hyper focused on this one guy you met 2 weeks ago? And they'll be like, yeah, I'm a bit hyper focused on him. I'm like, well, you know what to do, go and do it. And then it changes the dynamic, and it's that kind of accountability from whoever you choose that's super helpful. So that's how you move to phase 3. And then in phase 3, this is where you really knuckle down to do the inner work. So you reframe your past, and you start to really let go of unhealthy relationship blueprints. You learn smart dating strategy, how to manage your triggers. You start to triple your self-worth, and that's when you really start to see the positive changes, definitely on the inside, and how you feel about relationships. And then you start to see that being reflected externally. And because you're getting more positive attention, that's what helps you move to the next stage. So you start to get brave in phase 3 and look at what's not working for you. You begin to make changes even though it feels uncomfortable. And so the way to move to phase 4 is radical forgiveness. So in previously we talked about radical responsibility. Now we're in a place of radical forgiveness. Radically forgiving yourself for any mistakes, radically forgiving an ex-partner, radically forgiving your parents who might have given you a bit of a shitty start in life. It might be radically forgiving an abuser who really messed up your sense of relating and love and sex, and you've had to work through that for quite a long time to get to this place. And whoever else needs to be forgiven. After that forgiveness process, when you've worked deeper on yourself, it just kind of opens the floodgates to more love. So you start to attract men of a higher standard, men who are clear about who they are and what they want, and you're not intimidated by that. And you start to attract and be attracted by healthier men. They start to feel, magnetized by your feminine vibe, and they realize that you're quite different to the women that they know. So to move to phase 5, which is the final phase, what you do is you rewrite your love story from that of the victim to the victor. And this is not just like a pretend thing that you're doing. This is on the basis of the work that you've done, that you have moved yourself to a place of victory within. You've moved yourself to a place of healing within. You've moved your mindset to a space of trust. So you make a choice. You make a conscious choice to know and decide that love is bringing you the love that you desire, that what you seek is seeking you. You become a success queen, and you You have learned to check yourself on how you think, feel, show up and express, and you don't mind and you want accountability. You know that you don't have to rush anymore, that it's all coming in good time, as long as you stay in the process, as long as you're staying in the belief and the love mindset that you can have what you desire, and you've done the inner work so that you are a vibrational match now to true, authentic love, going from single to soulmate. And then in phase 5, this is when you're soulmate ready. So you date numerous men from a place of abundance, knowing that you're a cherished woman, and you don't become hyper-focused on one guy's promises. You see people as they are, you take them as they are, and you accept them as they are. You date high quality people. You know that your best match is going to arrive at the right time, so you're not rushing, and you're not rushing your dates, and you enjoy the company of great men, and they really treat you with respect, because you're just emanating high value confidence. You value high quality men, and you quickly let go of anyone that isn't that, because you trust that life is bringing you what you desire. And then what will happen is you choose the man who you need for the long-term committed love that you're looking for, and he has plenty of what you desire. So you're not just choosing a man just based off of like what he said and the chemistry and I'm really attracted to him. Like, you're actually mindful of this man's beautiful qualities as well as everything else, and that man truly cherishes you. So that's when you become soulmate ready. So let me know, like, which phase are you in? Does this resonate with you? Can you see yourself in some of these phases? I'd love to hear from you on this. So just pop me a DM and let me know, how it feels to you. I've given you all the steps to move through, and I'd love to hear how you get on. I'm Jay Diamond, love and intimacy coach.